What is happening, everyone? Welcome back to another Tekken 8 training arc video, the video series where I'm actively improving at Tekken, possibly just with Jin at the moment, preparing for Tekken 8. Now, today I want to talk about Jin because what has happened, I got the heads up early that Jin is essentially a different character than who he was in Tekken 7. Where in Tekken 7 he was a much more reserved character, waiting more on the defensive options, and overall being a character that really slips up his opponents once they send out punishable options. In Tekken 8 he's more aggressive. I think that could be said about a lot of characters in this game due to the fact that, hey, they wanted this focus more so on aggression, and guess what? That's what we're getting here with a lot of these characters. So it's almost as if the system is really telling you to press forward and be button mashing to a sense. Not really button mashing, but definitely encourages you to press some buttons. So with Tekken 8 almost here, it has me a bit conflicted about Jin, not necessarily to the point of dropping him, but it definitely was not that I wanted his playstyle to be this aggressive, because that was the type of character that I wanted to learn, a much more defensive character. But I like Jin, so I'm gonna rule with the changes. And I think the changes are so much so that they've made him a very approachable character, especially for newbies such as myself. Now, the reason I say that is because one of the fundamental things that holds a lot of new players back from playing Jin is his simple electric wind hook fist, that one frame link that everybody's like, bro, you gotta get in the lab and train, and I still can't do it all the time perfectly. But you see that fist, it was holding a lot of people back from playing Jin. So it's a case where this thing kind of got eliminated low key. Now, I think I know why they did this. Jin is on the box. Jin is the main character that you're going to be interacting with. So to make him more approachable, what do beginners like to do when they now pick up fighting games? They like to win. And I definitely think this is a character that is going to be in the meta picking up a lot of wins. There's a lot of things I don't want to be in life, but one of the main things I don't want to be is a down player. And I want to start right about now with my Tekken 8 main Jin. This character is easily in the top 5 of the Tekken 8 roster, without a doubt. One of not only probably easy to get used to, but also a character that has that damage output, easy to learn some combos. It's very simple. I think Jin has become a bit more simple, but what has been even better for him is the elimination of that initial barrier of the electric wind hook fist. That is because of the Zanshin stance cancel. So here we're just doing a simple forward 3-4, and you see Jin is taking up that stance. And of course, from that stance, you could go into a plethora of other things. This kick is really good. Like, you know what I've also noticed is that Jin is no longer stubby. He has that range. He could get up in your face. Like, it's really not a case where Jin has problems clearing the distance between himself and opponents. And once you understand that, then you're able to easily execute getting into your opponent's face with a lot of his moves. But the thing about this Zanshin stance is that it is cancelable into a wave dash, which gives Jin a little effect that I loved, that I said, I definitely want to play Jin because of that little red eye effect that he gets. And I'll just demonstrate that to you right now. So that little red eye effect, I don't know if that's him drawing on more power from the devil inside of him, but essentially I think, in lore wise, that's exactly what's going on. So he's drawing on that power, but what that does is give you a guaranteed electric wind hook. So I think it is still a tell for your opponent, and it would be a case where I would think that anybody who wants to play Jin seriously still needs to know how to do the electric wind hook fist from a natural perspective. These moves also are quite beneficial, because this move, for example, can be cancelled into the stance, into that red eye glowing stance. I'm really bad at it, but and I can't get it consistently. I think you have to kind of do it. You see, like, you could still do it. So it's a case where it's a little window, but once you're better at wave dashing, you can do that, and you could follow up. Obviously, once you come there and you see that red eye, you could go in to an electric wind hook fist guaranteed. No, I think this is what causes people to say that Jin is brain dead now. Because one thing that I realize that the Tekken community values are its just frame links. It's just frames. That's the sacred thing that Tekken has kept over all of these years. And they want to ensure that it's not a case where these things disappear. But what has even made Jin much more approachable from a beginner's perspective is the fact that this is now a character that has clearly been designed with the heat system in mind. So first things first, you've got a lot of ways to trigger the heat system for Jin. One of my favorite ways when I've been practicing against the Ghost was to use Demon Paw, which has stupid range, by the way. And then, you know, once you're in this form, your wave dashes automatically give you that red eye effect. But then there's more. There's crazy stuff like the Omen stance, which gives you even more utility on the Omen Wind God Fist. I don't know why I wasn't able to pull it off there, but essentially there's so much more that makes Jin so much, not very much so, a complicated character, very approachable, and more so importantly, this is a character that is going to benefit a lot of beginners because once again, he benefits tremendously from the rage art, not the rage art, but the heat system. He has a lot of range on moves. Like, Jin is not a character that is as stubby as his Tekken 7 version. He's much more of an Avenger, a brawler-esque character, you know, really seeking that revenge, trying to put a stop to Kazuya's reign in Tekken 8, and has therefore become such a much more approachable character. I also think that he's got some really simple combos to follow by. You know, it's not anything too crazy. It's decent enough whereby you yourself could kind of plug yourself into Jin because he's not as complicated as he was before. Obviously, there are still things that Jin mains want to learn, but this is a much more approachable character. And how does that make me feel? You know, definitely I really wanted to learn a character that is much more defensive, has much more options in terms of being much more neutral focused, and kind of has this turtler effect to him. But that's just the change that is here right now, and I am rocking with it. So that's it for today's video. I'm just wanted to give you guys an update that Jin has fundamentally changed the way I approach this journey a bit, because now I have to recognize the big changes that has happened with this character. But once again, it wasn't too much of a shocker for me because I got that heads up that, you know, he was different, and I see now the way that Jin was different. But most importantly, he is not only different, he's much more approachable for beginners, and I think he may just be one of the most beginner friendly and approachable characters in Tekken 8 thus far. But guys, that's all I wanted to share with you in today's update. It's really making me have to press more buttons as Jin on a much more aggressive forefront because he's got all these tools. I don't necessarily think it would be a good thing to ignore these tools that are in front of you. You could definitely push with Jin and state your agenda. Make it clear that you're not here to mess around. Make it clear that you're standing on business. And you know, that's all I really wanted to discuss with you guys today. Give you an update. Once again, the Tekken training arc is going great because my main is in the demo, so I could actually play. But I'll see you guys in the next video, and until then, stay gaming.